Okay, today we're going to do conic section with parabolas. As you remember, a parabola is a U-shaped graph, and it has some important features like the axis of symmetry, which goes through the center of the parabola and the vertex. So we're going to have some new terms to learn. The first one is directrix, and it's the line that is perpendicular to the axis of symmetry. The focus is located on the axis of symmetry, and it is the point from which parallel lines entering the parabola focus. Hence the name focus. So if a line is coming in from inside the parabola, it hits the parabola and goes to the focus. If a line is coming from below the parabola, it too hits the parabola and enters the focus. So two new terms for you to learn. Here's some general information. This is a parabola in vertex form, and these parabolas open up or down. Notice the x is inside the parentheses. It is a y equals. The vertex is HK, and a new thing we're going to learn about is P. P is equal to K minus the directrix. P is the distance from the focus to the vertex, and it's also the distance from the vertex to the directrix. These two are equal. There's an absolute value around the P because distance is always positive, but the P itself could be positive or negative. And we're going to use P to help us find the A value in the equation. If you're looking for the coordinates for the focus, when it opens up or down, the focus is H, comma, and then the Y value is K plus P. So here's an example, because examples are much easier to use. We're going to start with the equation and we're going to fill it in. So, y equals a, x, the h is is 1, so we got x minus 1, and the k is negative 2. So we fill these two values in. Now we have to find p. Remember, p is equal to k minus the directrix. So it is negative 2 minus a negative 1. Because the directrix is negative 1, giving us p equals negative 1. It's important for us to know what 4p is equal to, so 4p's would be equal to negative 4. Why? Because our a value is equal to 1 over 4p. Plugging in for 4p, I get a is equal to negative 1/4. We can now write the finished equation by replacing that a with the negative 1/4, resulting in our solution equation. Now let's talk about parabolas that open left and right. They have the exact same form except we switch what's inside the parentheses to y minus k. So remember, y is with k, h and x go together. Okay, so this opens left to right, and we know this because the y is inside the parentheses. The vertex does not change. It is still hk. However, p, because the directrix is going to be vertical now, p is equal to h minus the directrix. Everything holds true, but the focus now will be flipped so that the focus coordinates are h plus p and k. So let's look at an example here. The vertex is 4, negative 7. The directrix is x equals 15 over 4. We're going to fill in the equation as we did before. X is equal to a. We replace k with the negative 7. So minus a negative 7 is plus 7. 4 replaces h. P is equal to H minus the directrix, so 4 minus 15 over 4. P is equal to 16 over 4, because that replaces 4. And then P is equal to 1/4. Remember, A is equal to 1 over 4P. So A is equal to 1 over 4 times 1/4, because we replaced the P with 1/4, giving us A is equal to 1. Because 4 times 1/4 is 1, and A equals 1 over 1, simplified, is simply 1. We fill in our equation, resulting in our solution. Now, if we're given an equation, then we can get some information off of the equation. For example, if we have y equals 2 times x minus 10 squared plus 6, we can simply pull off the vertex, which is hk. 10 is our h, k is 6. There's our vertex. Notice on the graph, the units are 5, 10, 15, 20. The axis of symmetry is x equals h. So you're asking yourself, what value makes what's in parentheses 0? So x is equal to 10, because 10 minus 10 would give you 0. The axis of symmetry is the h value. And the axis of symmetry, if you recall, goes straight through the middle of the parabola. We know the parabola opens upward because the a value is positive. Now let's look at one that opens left and right. X equals a times y minus k plus h. So we're going to use the equation x equals -4, y minus a -8 squared plus 2. Or we could write it as y plus 8 squared. Our vertex, again, is hk. H is 2. K is -8, resulting in our vertex. Our axis of symmetry is y equals k, because it is now a horizontal axis of symmetry. So y is going to equal -8, and it goes right through the middle. It opens to the left because a is negative. So I hope all of this made sense. If you have any questions, you can ask me tomorrow.